Infinity Games Podcast.
Should probably do an intro thingy.
Should we do an intro thingy?
I don't know, how's anyone going to know that you are KelryxsKing and that I am Jukeboxhero?
Kind of like that.
Really? I don't know, I don't think that's going to drive the point home.
No, you don't think you telling them our names is going to drive the point home?
Nah.
Okay, well, I guess we better introduce everything then.
Welcome to Earth.
It's a lovely planet, isn't it?
Yep.
No, but for real, welcome back to the Infinity Games Podcast. This is episode 6. I'm KelryxsKing.
I'm Jukeboxhero.
In case you didn't get that part.
Wink.
Wink. I think what we're starting off with, first of all, is we're gonna talk about our hidden gem game pick.
Yep.
Of the week. The one we picked this week, we were a little on the fence about it. We feel it classifies as a hidden gem. Anybody listening may feel differently. You might be like, oh no, I played the hell out of that game. Me and all my friends love that game, and if so, awesome. But
for the other 99% of humans who have not played it.
We're going to talk about the Batman game on NES.
Yeah. So
I emphasize that really weird.
Oh, whatever.
But
it's released by Sunsoft. It's got that wonderful Sunsoft bass.
The music in that game is insane. Like, for real, though.
Yeah. Just agreed everything.
Now, first of all, I think a fair story on how we learned about the Batman game on NES is anybody who knows what video games are and plays them, I would hope knows who the Angry Video Game Nerd is. He did a couple of Batman reviews. He did a 2-part Batman review, and he just went over like all the crappy games, right?
Yeah.
So he comes across the Batman game on NES, and he's like, oh god, he's not expecting good things, right? Well, of course not. Like, movies back then didn't get good games.
Actually, quite the contrary.
Really?
Well, yeah, think of all the Disney games that Capcom did.
Okay, fair point.
I think you were more likely to have a good game if it was a movie tie-in back then than you do now.
That's also a fair point. Okay, anyways, sometimes if a little company called LJN got a hold of them, then you're fucked. Anyways, so he reviews it and he loved it. He was like, this is fucking awesome. And then, so we were like, oh, that game looks great. And when we first saw that review, Jukebox and I were just kind of starting to like ramp up in terms of our collecting.
Yeah, this was about 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, back in the good old days. Before all them newfangled telephoners.
Oh god.
So one day we're in the city and we're just like going around just looking at a bunch of random game places, and we come across like this crappy little pawn shop, and we're like, screw it, let's go check it out, right? So we go inside and it's a mess.
Oh, it was like, fucking horrid.
It's bad,
it's
right?
Like chainsaws laying on the floor that you gotta step over.
Running chainsaws.
But maybe
one or two. So anyway, so we slink in and we're like, we're not gonna bother looking around this dump. We just asked the guy, we're like, do you have any like old video games or anything? And he points into this one corner, and he's like, just go behind the counter. I'm not about to go back there for you and pick them out one by one. We're like, all right, cool.
It's like an entire fucking wall.
Yeah, right. So we go behind and we just start like picking games out, and it's like none of them are labeled, so we had to ask the guy, how much is this one, how much is that one,
Yeah. So everyone I picked out, like I'd pick out River City Ransom and I'd be like, how much? He's like, 50. Pull out like Mario 3, how much? 40. Pull out fucking Mega Man 2, how much? 30.
Zelda, 40. We're like, dude, fuck you.
Actually, he gave me Zelda for 20. I tried to talk him down to 15, but that was like the first time I ever haggled, and it did not work well.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, so okay, well, egg on my face. So Jukebox gets Legend of Zelda on NES, the gold cartridge, for $20, which I mean,
at the time it was kind of like $15 was the fair market value. Nowadays, fucking $40 would be like the market value in Canada.
Yeah, so you got to steal. And then so I'm like way tucked into the corner, and Jukebox has more of a straight shot to the guy. So we find the Batman game in there, and I'm like, "Oh my god." And I'm like, "Here, Jukebox, ask this guy how much it is." And Jukebox like peeks over the corner, he holds it up, he's like, "How much for this one?" Dude goes 10, and I'm like, "Dibs!"
I thought you got it for $5.
Did I get it for 5?
I think you got it for $5.
Could have sworn it was 10. Maybe I got it for 5. We're gonna say I got it for 5.
Hell
that's
yeah,
just way better.
Because I remember it being like really cheap compared to everything I pulled out.
Which was kind of weird, but
it kind of pissed me off.
So, yeah, me too.
Like
so
at
anyway,
the time, I'm like a 13-year-old kid. It's not like I'm gonna have boatloads of money.
Stacks upon stacks. So that's how I got the Batman game, and I still have it on my shelf.
Yeah, don't get rid of it.
And no, never. Love that game. It's so much fun, so hard, so much fun.
Okay. Tell people about what the gameplay is like.
It's a 2D platformer, for one, 2D side-scrolling platformer. It's hard to explain. Essentially, it's like.
Well, it's
like run it.
It has platform elements, but you also have weapons to dispatch baddies.
Yeah, exactly. So think somewhat like
Ninja Gaiden.
The best way, Ninja Gaiden or even Mega Man. Mega Man's a bit of a stretch, but definitely Ninja Gaiden is like the best because Batman's got like a wall jump and everything. And essentially, the whole point is, get to the far right of the screen to move on to the next stage. You're gonna have shit flying at you from all angles, and I can't remember, but I think you have 4 different weapons in the game. You have the Batarang, the gun, which was strange considering Batman's strictly no guns. And
we'll just assume it's a stun gun.
Yeah, we'll assume it's a stun gun that causes spontaneous combustion, but it only tickled them, I promise.
Right.
And then your third weapon, which is the one that's like it's this 3-way giant shuriken of death. Like, he throws out, like, one little shuriken, and then it stops about, like, 3 feet in front of him, splits into 3, and then continues down the rest of the screen, just, like, decimates everything.
Tell him what the best weapon is.
The Batman.
Yeah, gonna fucking Batman him to death.
No, but seriously, you have just a standard punch move, which actually, when you compare punching in other, like, NES games, it works really well in the Batman game. It really does.
Yeah, like the hit detection's spot on.
Yeah, like if you miss a guy, like why you missed him. But anyway, so just to preface the context a little, it's like when you have the Batarang or the stun gun or the giant shuriken equipped, there's a little symbol in the top left corner by Batman's name and your health bar and everything that shows which weapon you're using. And when you're just punching people to conserve ammo or whatever, it just says Batman. It doesn't give you a fist icon. It doesn't say punch. It just says fucking Batman. So you Batman the enemies to death. That's just how it goes.
You are the weapon.
I am the weapon. I mean,
I am the law.
We could think that the developers just went like really hardcore into the lore. Like, I mean, Batman knows every form of martial arts. He's mastered 128 different forms of martial arts, I think.
Fucking whack.
So I mean, he very well is the weapon, so they're not technically wrong. But it's just entertaining. It's like, oh, what's this? Oh, Batarang, okay, and the gun, all right, and the shuriken thing. Holy fuck, it's awesome. And then, wait, why is Batman? What the hell? And then you're just punching bitches. You're like, bam, right hook.
Take it. I am the Batman.
Jesus Christ. But no, it's super fun game. It's not like, it's hard. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a standard NES formula. Like, it will kick your fucking ass. Like, sideways, inside out, and then back up inside, but it still somehow good. Inside out. But it feels good. And like most other games, like, you'll get through, like, for example, if you play like Castlevania or I was about to say like Mega Man or something, but no, Mega Man will kick your ass sideways. But we'll stick with just Castlevania. or even Metroid or something, like the first few screens, like the first like 10 to 20 minutes you're playing it, you're not going to do all that bad. You're going to do all right. And then all of a sudden the massive shitstorm hits and you're suddenly getting fucking mollywopped and your jumps need to be like mega precise and you need to like every shot has to fucking count.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's
a fucking
definitely
good time.
It is. Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, it'll fucking kick your ass relentlessly and ruthlessly. But I mean, if you grew up playing an NES, I mean, fuck, you're a sadomasochist anyways.
Right. So we wholeheartedly recommend Batman on the NES.
Yes, we do. And I've never seen it for like an obscene amount of money. I think the most I've ever seen it go for, like just in like local stores, is like maybe $20.
Yeah, so word's kind of gotten around that it's a good game, but you can still get it for a fair price. You're not going to break the bank for it. It's going to cost you less than like Super Mario Bros. Would.
Yeah. Well, Super Mario Bros. 3 at least. That's the one that people ramp up, but
it's so rare. So rare. God. All 18 million of them. So rare.
That reminds me, Jukebox, did you finish your coffee table made out of Mario Karts yet?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely?
How
are you getting along on mine?
Over halfway.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. It's like dime a dozen. There's 50 million. Fucking Jesus. Not actually. I'm not making a coffee table, but my God, there's just so like, goddamn many.
If you actually bought like Mario Duck Hunt for like actual price, which is like maybe $2, like you could very well buy enough of them to build a fucking coffee table. Hell, I might one day just for the hell of it.
You know, that may have been fair to say back when, you know, we first started collecting and stuff, but like especially more recently, Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt actually keeps some value to it because I mean everyone wants it. I mean, regardless of the fact that there's 42 million, every, you know, second-hand kind of video game store, if they sell NESs, they need to have those cartridges to package with the NES. So, I mean, if you're in the collector scene or if you're buying like single carts off eBay, it's still probably going to fetch you like $10 Canadian. It's no longer a dime a dozen.
Well, you know what then? You know what I'll make a coffee table out of? I'll make a coffee table out of Hydlide or Mylon's Secret Castle or something. No, more accurately, I'll make a toilet out of them.
God, we made that guy's day when I bought Hydlide.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could count on his like one hand how many copies they'd sold, and it was always like a celebration every time they sold one. Mm-hmm. And just to be ironic, they had like an old NES display case from like a Blockbuster or something, and they put it behind the glass of the display case like it's some sort of treasure. and like, to say how shit Hydlide is, the store has like a minimum price tag of $10 on literally everything, except Hydlide got $5.
Yep. Like, the only other games in that store that get priced that low are like hockey and football and like Othello and shit. Like, just the stuff that literally nobody ever buys. Actually,
Othello's at 10.
God damn it.
Yep.
There you go. An incredibly childish board game on an NES system is worth more than Hydlide. But we'll talk about that another day. So
it's time for games we've been playing. The segment where we give insight on what we've been playing. New or old, good or bad. Here is what we've been playing. Yep.
Alright, Jukebox, what have you been playing lately?
Well, the normal Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! But for a little while there, I was actually playing the Pinball Arcade again on Wii U.
Ooh, nifty.
Yeah. So the Pinball Arcade, they used to have games called the Pinball Hall of Fame. And they just were collections of pinball tables from Williams or Gottlieb that you could play digitally, because obviously it's hard to have a million pinball machines. What they ended up doing with the Pinball Arcade was making each table DLC, so you could buy whatever tables you wanted or buy a whole season pack and get like 20 at a time. And it's probably the best like physics-based emulation of a pinball machine of any company who ever put out pinball games.
Goddamn love pinball. I'm terrible
I
at
fucking
it,
love
but I
pinball.
love pinball.
So, because it's so hard to find good machines or like go out and play pinball, I ended up buying like all 4 seasons that they had on the Wii U, so that I could just play them at home. And
Worth
like
it.
what I was playing was probably like the Terminator 2 pinball machine, and Taxi is one of my favorites, and Big Shot, which is one of the only really old pinball machines that I actually find fun.
Yeah, because the old ones are all kind of boring, aren't they?
Well, I mean, they're entertaining enough, especially when you're like actually playing them. But the whole thing with EM machines is you can't have super crazy rail systems or like voices or anything like that, so they just don't have as much to them. The game itself is still fun.
Gotcha. Well, that's
What have you been playing?
I've been playing stuff and things.
Stuff?
And some other stuff.
What stuff?
I'm gonna tell ya.
No, I'm gonna keep interrupting you.
Okay, perfect. That can be the rest of the podcast.
Yes.
Yas. Interruptions 101 with Jukeboxhero2323. So what I've been playing.
What were you saying?
God damn it. You son of a bitch.
It was too quiet for too long. We knew something was up.
Yeah, I was worried. I was like, fuck me, this is gonna happen, isn't it?
Okay, actually tell the viewers what you've been playing.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay.
But you can try.
Okay. Worth a shot, I suppose. Fucker.
You're welcome.
Yes. Fuck it. So the main one that I've been playing lately is Dust and Elysian Tale. It came out in 2013. Can't remember who made it.
I don't either.
Oh, here, hang on. Fuck it. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm gonna find out.
Humble Soft? I just remember the cute hearts.
Yeah, I'm really not. Yeah, Humble Hearts.
Nice. I was like half right.
Humble Hearts, and it's a wonderful, wonderful game. It's very much a Metroidvania style, with like more beat 'em up elements as opposed to hardcore RPG. More like if you played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you know how important it is to have to wear certain armors. Like there's one boss you literally, unless you farm for the strongest weapon in the game, or you get something that resists lightning magic or something, like you have a fat chance in hell of beating that boss. But
What about a slim chance?
Maybe a slim chance.
Aren't they kind of the same thing?
Probably.
Fat chance, slim chance.
Probably.
What about a portly chance?
A portly chance. Yeah, we'll go with that one.
Okay.
But I haven't played too much of Dust yet. I'm only maybe like 2 hours into the game. So I don't know if maybe it will get to that point. There is like, you just have one standard weapon. You have a talking sword, which, what? A talking sword? That's never been in a video game. Oh, it gets better. There's also a talking flying creature that is the supposed guardian of said sword. Exactly.
It's
wait.
Fi and Navi.
Exactly. But a little less fucking annoying. I'll get into a fun little thing that little side character did. And then to top it all off, your character has amnesia.
Oh, like fucking anime tropes here now.
Yeah, like, because that's never happened in anything ever.
Nope.
I don't know where I am or who I am, but here's a talking sword telling me I have got to save the world. Better listen to
Breath of the Wild.
But all things aside, it is a really, really fun game. There's like a combo system, and it's not just like you're beating the shit out of people with the sword. Like your little companion thing she can like throw magic, like throw little magic orbs, and if you combo that with a certain move of your main character, it's called the Dust Storm, which is like he spins his sword in a circle. it'll literally it'll suck the magic in and then like multiply them by like 100 and then shoot them all out.
It's not actually magic, it's just glitter in a ceiling fan.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
he's very high. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's watching stupid YouTube videos.
Woo!
Dust doesn't exist.
But
No,
so like
dust is wonderful.
It is. There's a bunch of combo systems. There's food items to restore your health. You can equip items so that you do more damage, that you standard armor so you take less damage. And every time you get enough experience to level up, you get something called a skill gem, where I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed in this, but I'm still okay with it. Is when you get a skill gem, you can go into your menu and you'll be able to select either your health, your strength, your defense, or fidget. Fidget is the name of the little flying thing that is the guardian of your talking sword.
Oh,
and
right.
she's your little companion. So if you upgrade her, then the magic does more damage. If you upgrade your strength, of course, you simply hit harder with your
the glitter intensifies.
Exactly. The glitter intensifies when you upgrade fidget. So the only thing that I was a little and then strength, HP, defense, they're all self-explanatory really. But the only thing that kind of disappointed me with that is that you get something called a skill gem, and as opposed to being able to use those to learn new moves and new abilities and stuff, you just you use them to upgrade your stats, which is I get it and I enjoy it and it's fine, but it's like one of those little things, right?
Yeah.
It's a skill gem and I can't learn a new skill with it.
Every game's got a little quirk that's stupid.
Oh, yeah. Except Breath of the Wild, that's a 10 out of 10. We're not getting into that again.
Oh, God. Yeah, go listen to our Breath of the Wild episode 3.
Yes. But
we bitch about it a lot, and then we praise it to no end.
It's so good. But anyways, it is a good comparison, it's one of those things. Everything's got something that will drag the rating just a tiny bit down if you're enough of a nitpicker. And that's one of them for me. I'm just like, man.
I'm pretty sure Dust on Steam, because that's where you get it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it has overwhelmingly positive reviews, or very positive.
It does. It's very, very highly rated. It's rated 10 out of 10 on Steam. IGN, I think, rated it like an 8.6 or something.
I'd believe that.
Metacritic, I think, gave it something close to a 90% rating. So I mean, it does fantastic. It's a straight up just amazing game. I've enjoyed every second of it. The voice acting is really, really well done. Of course, it's standard. The concept is cliched, but it's the same with any anime you watch these days. It's the same with it's the same with a lot of video games you play these days. There are just standard cliches. The protagonist is just simply a badass, and it's you got to think about it. They kind of have to be a badass. Would you want to play a video game where it's you're just the shitty best friend that doesn't know parkour and magic and shit, and you're just you can do it? Yeah, that'd be fun, right?
Yeah. Even Earthbound, for example, tries to play down that you're not necessarily a badass, but at the same time, you still know all your fucking psi moves. So
yeah, exactly.
You're still a badass.
Yeah, I can blow up this mountain, but I'm just a normal kid, But
that sounds like Mob Psycho 101.
It does, but I mean,
I'm trying to be a normal guy. Just I destroy things insanely.
I love the concept. We'll talk about anime at some point, but I love the concept of Mob Psycho 101 just because it's he tries so hard to be quote unquote normal, and it just makes him more fucking weird.
Yep.
It's
that was
lovely.
A really good anime.
It is. I didn't watch the anime. I read the manga. I think I read the manga up to chapter 90 something.
I wanted to start reading the manga because that's created by the same guy who did One Punch Man.
Yeah, exact same concept. Super duper overpowered main character.
So is Mob Psycho, is it actually drawn by one, or is it the guy who does the really good fancy drawings?
It's drawn by one. I don't know. The other guy might pick it up like he did for One Punch Man, and they might reboot it. But for now, the manga is just done by one.
I can dig that.
Like, which is part of the reason I can't get sucked into it. Like, I read the original One Punch Man by him, and it's like, it's just that. It's like the story's still hilarious,
like doodles.
but it's like horribly drawn, which is fine. It's like not everybody's an artist. Like, if you ever see, like, one day I'll fucking draw for you guys, and you'll understand. Like, I'm god awful. I cannot draw to save my life, but
it made it so interesting because the guy who picked up the drawing was the one who did 3x3 eyes or whatever that was, and he's like ridiculously detailed.
Oh yeah,
so like
he's
the
insane.
comparison between the early chapters, it's just like you see the exact same scene but done with immensely more detail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure later on they actually kind of split them a little, whereas they're kind of two different stories now.
Yeah, they do deviate. Like they stick to a standard formula. Like where it is right now is it's like the Monster King is starting to take over and the Monster Alliance is giving the heroes a run for their money or whatever, and that is what happens in the original manga, but it's done quite a bit differently. Yeah. Like are you up to date with the One Punch manga at all?
No.
Okay, well,
I can't even remember what the last I read was. It was at least a year ago now.
Okay, well, without giving too many spoilers away, right now there's a character that got introduced. His name's Shiryu, and he's, by normal standards, he'd be an S-class hero if he was a hero. Like, he's ridiculously strong.
Okay.
But he's still pathetically weak compared to Saitama, right? Whereas, so right now, the manga that's like a collaboration, like the really detailed, really pretty one, he hit, like, the fight between Saitama and Shiryu has been like a 10-chapter thing going on, whereas in the original manga that was just done by one, like, you never get any mention of this dude, like, at all. So they're definitely taking liberties and flushing the story out more now that one has somebody to back up. He has an artist to back up his storytelling talent.
Yeah.
So, but I think we're getting just a tiny bit off track.
Yeah, you know what? If you want to listen to us talk about anime, we'll probably do that in the next one.
Yeah.
Episode 7.
Yes. Hype. Yeah, we'll definitely do an anime-centered episode. We'll start mixing anime episodes in here and there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say one more thing about anime, then we can get to our main topic, 2D platformers.
Yes.
It's really inspiring to see one's art improvement.
It is.
Like, you go to the first chapter, you go to, like, the most recent chapter, you can tell that he's getting better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even if it's still kind of scribble-worthy, like, I think that gave a lot of inspiration to a lot of, like, people who do web comics or even, like, Tumblr comics, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of shows that you can go places even if you're not, like, fucking painting the Mona Lisa or anything.
Oh, absolutely. One I'll mention one thing as well just before we move on here. But as far as as far as comics and drawing and all that, it's amazing what, like, random people can do in their spare time. Because I remember when I first started getting into, like, Pokemon Nuzlocke and stuff, I thought it was just I just thought it was a thing for the games. I didn't realize that it was originally a comic series done by some dude. So yeah, I found that out and I went and I read them all, and honestly I'm probably going to read them all again, like either tonight or one of these days, because they're hilarious. So if you go and you read the main guys, I think he's done 3 now. He started with Pokemon Ruby, and then I think he did Fire Red, and then he skipped over to, I think he did like Diamond and Pearl or Black and White. It's one of the two. And it's the same thing. It's a massive art improvement. Like when he does Ruby, like his art is like god awful, just crap scribbles. And then once he gets like about halfway through Fire Red, you can see that he started to realize, holy shit, people are reading my stuff and really liking it. So he started kind of focusing more, and the art gets better. Like, it's still very childish. So for the sake of, the guy's no crazy artist by any means. But then, so he did the originals, and then a lot of other people have also done their own Nuzlocke comics. And there was one I found, and it was like super high detail. Like, it was all like digital art made. It was full color. Like,
Damn.
The main story was that the main character of the black and white Pokemon games can hear Pokemon talk. So, like, she was able to communicate with her Pokemon. And she also made the Pokemon dying as in the form of a Nuzlocke. For anybody who doesn't know, when a Pokemon faints, it's dead. You cannot use it anymore.
Have to release it.
You have to release it or put it in the box forever. You cannot use it anymore if it faints even one time. You can't use a revive. You can't use a rare candy. You can't use nothing. Like, it's gone. So, in the story, it's that they explain that all Pokemon attacks, some Pokemon attacks have a chance to go bad. Like, if a fucking Rhydon uses Rock Slide, your Pokemon might just take a bunch of damage, or it might get crushed to death. Like, it's a hit or miss, and that's part of the risk you take when you want to be a Pokemon trainer, right?
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So I definitely want to. Yeah, I definitely want to go more into that kind of stuff in a future podcast. But I just
2D
felt that
platformers.
Was worth, yes, 2D platformers.
It was worth saying.
It was. But so yeah, our main topic for episode 6. Yes.
Yeah, we're in 6.
Yay! I did a thing. Is our main topic?
You did 6 things now.
Indeed. Haha. The puns. But so our main topic is 2D platformers. Which I didn't notice originally when I picked out our hidden gem, but it is a 2D platformer.
Hell yeah.
Which is super fucking nifty, actually. So yeah, of course, 2D platformers. Batman, which we just talked about. One thing that I very slightly mentioned in Batman that I wish I'd elaborated on a little more was, he can't like double jump or anything, but he can do a wall jump. So if you have like, I know I mentioned it, but I wanted to talk about it just a little more. Is it's like, if you got some big spire, it's not like you can jump once and then jump off again. Like, if you have 2 walls, you can keep jumping side to side all the way up to the top of that thing. And the control is, like, really tight. Like, it feels really satisfying. Like, if you fall, like, you know you fucked up somehow. It wasn't just the game being an asshole.
It's just like Ninja Gaiden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ninja Gaiden.
Except in Ninja Gaiden, you literally stick to the wall for an indefinite amount of time, whereas in Batman, I think you fall after a little while.
So it might be a little closer to Super Metroid.
Yeah,
I had
probably.
a really hard time with the wall jump in Super Metroid. Like, you got the little gremlin guys that show you can do it, but like, it is like a 1 frame time chance to like actually hit that button to do the wall jump, and you gotta just kind of get the timing down. I never got used to it.
One day I'll play Super Metroid, and I feel like one of 2 things will happen. Either I will get it down no problem and you'll feel like a loser, or I will have even more trouble with it and you'll feel like some kind of a winner.
No, I'm sure you'll get it right away. Because I don't know if it was you or someone else I was talking to said they played it on an emulator and they had 0 problem doing the wall jump.
Definitely wasn't me. I haven't played Super Metroid before.
Yeah, I don't know. I fucking love that game.
Might have been like your sister's husband, or might have been one of your buddies in university or something, but it definitely wasn't me. But
well, fuck them.
Fuck them. Having no issue with things that are hard for me, which is like my constant life struggle when it comes to Jukebox and his computer knowledge at this point. I mean, if I just watched a shit ton of YouTube videos and actually practiced everything, I'd probably be fine, but I'm lazy.
That's how everything is.
Pretty much.
Gotta practice.
Yeah.
Gotta put in the time. Put in the time.
Like, if you want to be Batman, practice. Even that won't help you. Like, apparently the final boss, the Joker, apparently he's hard as shit. Like, good luck.
Expectedly.
Yeah, fair. Like, any one of those, any old NES game, you get to the end, it's like, fuck, buckle down.
Kelryx,
yes?
I want you to tell me what you think the best console for 2D platformers is.
Ah, sweet Jesus. I want to say NES, but I'm also feeling Super Nintendo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pick one, give me a reasoning.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
There can only be one best.
God damn it, man. You put me on the spot like this. Shit.
Yep.
God, fuck, I don't know. like
gears are turning.
Like, I mean, on NES, like the above all like masterpiece platformers like Super Mario 3, but I want to be a little more outside the box than that.
Well, see, I think the NES is the best for platformers. The Super NES kind of expanded upon what the NES brought, so like Castlevania 4, Super Metroid, and whatnot. But I think of RPGs when I think of Super NES. With the NES, like Super Mario Bros., which it's kind of weird to think that came out 2 years after the Famicom already existed in Japan. So,
right.
I mean, they started out with like Donkey Kong and Popeye. But like Super Mario Bros. Kind of set the standard, and then every company wanted to put out something that was side-scrolling and as awesome as Mario Bros. So, I mean, there's just the vast majority of games then were side-scrollers.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's also a matter of like what the NES could handle at the same time. But yeah, no, definitely. As soon as I said I'm thinking Super Nintendo, I was like, no, now I'm getting mixed up with RPGs. Don't be a dumbass. Because immediately in my head, I say NES, then immediately I'm like Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG and like all that. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. Those aren't fucking side scrollers. Like,
well, see, I'm kind of conflicted because Super NES would be my second choice because
100%.
There's definitely way more on the NES, and there's definitely a lot of extremely good ones, like Super Mario Bros. 3 constantly tops like top 10 lists and whatnot. But my favorite platformers are on the Super NES, so like Yoshi's Island and Super Metroid and Donkey Kong Country.
In my opinion, as far as like best 2D side scrollers go, I'd honestly, even though I haven't played the one, I'd definitely say it's probably a toss-up between like Mario 3 on the NES, because it's just fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like, as far as you
played
can think,
that many nights.
many nights, and we have never gotten very far. But
well, actually, because when we would do it, it was kind of like, what do you want to play? I don't fucking know. Well, fuck it. We're just putting in Mario Bros. 3 because we could never decide. Yeah, so we'd play it for like 4 hours, and because it's the NES, you can't save. We'd turn it off. We usually got to like the 7th world before we turned it off, but we never got farther.
Did we?
In a collective effort, at least, because I've beaten the game by myself.
Yeah, I remember there was the one time where we didn't use warps. And I think the furthest we got was like about halfway through World 3. But with warps, like we got to World 7 for sure. I don't think we ever got that far without warps, but
I think without warps we made it to at least 5.
Yeah, probably. I remember Giant World. What level is Giant World?
Fuck, I don't know. You know, I'm going to look it up real quick.
Nice. But definitely, as far as like the best is definitely like between Mario 3, probably Super Mario World, even though I'm fucking ass balls at that game. Like, I'm terrible. I have trouble with the first fucking level.
Love.
I know you do. And then definitely Super Metroid. Super Metroid set like a whole new standard of awesomeness. Like, anybody
so I'm
that has
jump in here.
Yeah, go for it.
Just cut you right off. Super Mario Bros. 3 World 4 is the giant world. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Jesus Christ, go play Mario Bros. 3.
Word. Or watch a Let's Play. Do something. Experience it. Watch the Angry Video Games Nerds video on it.
and if you can't stand games that blocky, there's always the All-Stars version on Super NES, which is slightly less blocky.
And the All-Stars version on Wii if you got some money.
Actually, it's literally an exact port of the Super NES version.
I figured.
And they did the Nintendo Selects, kind of like their greatest hits.
Yep.
They put that in there.
Oh.
So you can get it for like $20 now, $15.
Not bad.
Yeah. Collector's edition is still a fucking arm and a leg.
Yeah, I remember when you got that and it was like the hypest thing ever.
Yeah, because I didn't even know it was coming out that day. My grandparents, one of them gave me like $30 for a gift and like birthday or something, and my mom drove me over to the EB Games, and we walked in and it's just like all across the shelves. I'm like, I'm getting this because it has all the Mario games, and I've always wanted All-Stars, and I can't find it on Super NES. Just like jizzed in my pants.
I was about to say, and that's when Jukebox learned what an orgasm was.
Yeah, right there in the middle of the store.
Yep, true story. But
yeah, so I ended up getting it on like a random chance, and then it sold out literally everywhere that day.
Yep.
And then it like shot up to double value.
We were like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's a good time. Though the fucking soundtrack is bullshit because it's like, 20 whole tracks. Wow, huge soundtrack. 10 of the quote unquote songs are literally just sound effects. So you have like 10 songs that are like 5 seconds long. It's like bling, whoop.
It isn't yeah. It isn't the same, but it reminds me of like Cards on the Table. Me and my girlfriend love Frozen. Like I don't fucking care what anybody says. I love that goddamn movie. I saw it like 5 times in theaters. Don't give a shit. Love that movie. But then
Let
again,
it go, God damn it.
No, never.
Listen to the Oxen Zootopia. Let it go.
No, but so of course, like, we love the shit out of that movie, and of course we loved all the songs, and then one day we're just like chilling at random at Walmart and we find the Frozen soundtrack and we're like, yes. And it's the same thing, like the first 9 songs are the ones from the movie, right? And I think the
everything
9th song,
after that's like the scores.
and then everything else is just all the scores, all the background music and shit. I'm just like, could have done without that.
I mean, I don't think that's too bad because it's still full like songs, like full tracks, and you do get like all of the singing ones, right?
Yeah, that's why I said it wasn't quite the same as like the Mario soundtrack, but it's kind of the same as like you get like
usually they
9
separate
songs.
the two. It's like songs from blank movie and then the soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. So, minor things, but
you know what? Just like 2 days ago or something, maybe 4, I don't know. I managed to find the Lady and the Tramp soundtrack on vinyl, and I lost my shit.
Jesus.
Dude, Lady and the Tramp was like my all-time favorite Disney movie. Like when they took that out of the vault or whatever, released a double DVD back in like 2006. I took like fucking 2 months worth of allowance to get that one DVD, and that meant a lot.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because like back then, DVDs costed like way more, and this was a Disney DVD, and it was a double disc Disney DVD, so it was like a $35 fucking DVD.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was no fucking joke if you went and bought one of those. It was like, damn.
But I loved that goddamn movie.
One Disney movie that I had like a really strange attraction to when I was a kid was the Aristocats.
Oh, I fucking love that one.
The thing is, like, as much as like childhood me, like 6-7-year-old me, that was probably my favorite Disney movie. Could I tell you anything about it at this point? No.
You know what?
Absolutely not.
Exact same fucking thing for me. I watched it maybe like 6 months ago or something because I got this wave of nostalgia for Aristocats, and I'm like, I literally can't remember the names of anyone. I can't remember what happens. I remember there's like some weird sidecar motorcycle and some dogs, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And then a really good song.
The only recollection I have is it's about a cat family that live with rich people. The dad is orange and white, and the fucking mom is white, and that's literally all I got.
Yeah.
That's literally everything. Like, that's the only thing I know. And the only reason I know that much is because I saw the fucking DVD the other day at Walmart, like a few weeks ago, and
yeah, front cover.
That's it. That's the only reason I know that. But,
we should do that for a podcast one day. Just look through DVD covers and then imagine we've never seen it before and infer what it might be just from the cover.
That sounds awesome.
Literally judging a book by a cover.
Episode 8. Go. But,
Jesus.
Back to 2D side-scrollers.
Yeah, so you know what else is great about Disney?
The
fucking Capcom side-scrollers.
Yes.
Segues,
Friggin' a couple
DuckTales.
Woo.
The fucking moon theme.
Love it so much.
Wonderful. I only have DuckTales on the Game Boy, like the original Game Boy. The moon theme is still in there, but it's not nearly as good.
Nah, like it still sounds good, right? Like it's something I'd crank my Game Boy volume for, but you know.
Yeah, those fucking tiny ass speakers.
Yes. And you're just like, yes.
Oh, this is my jam. Turn it up more. I can't. It's full. Put the headphones in. Oh, wonderful.
And that's where Screamo music came from, kids.
Oh god, I'm looking at the waveform.
Yeah, you butchered that shit. But
that's okay.
So no, yeah, but actually, like I wasn't planning to bring those up at all. But yeah, like the Disney Capcom games that they made, like all of them were side scrollers. And
Lion King,
Lion King, Aladdin. Yeah, Aladdin was the one that I had in my head.
Even like Mickey's Mousecapade.
Yep.
It's not like a traditional like side scroller, but it's a platformer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of integrates something that you didn't see very much of on the NES, like back when these were like new things, is vertical space.
Yeah.
Like the two biggest examples I have of popular games that used vertical space would be Kid Icarus and Metroid.
Kirby.
Well, maybe to a degree, because you float up, but I don't know if you actually go anywhere when you go up.
I know there are a good number of stages that going vertical is a big thing, but yeah, definitely Metroid and Kid Icarus. Like Kid Icarus is all up.
Yeah, all the time.
Like you're literally heading upwards. If you go down ever, you die.
Like there's definitely other things. Like one of our hidden gems was Rainbow Islands. That's nothing but vertical too.
Yep, same thing. You're always climbing.
Ice Climbers, even.
Yep.
But like the most popular ones that people would actually know would be Kid Icarus and Metroid for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fucking Super NES just kind of exploded that whole vertical thing. Like think of Mega Man X.
Oh yeah, because you can do the wall jump. That was like next level. It was like, what? You need to scale this building? Well, fucking wall jump the shit out of it.
Yeah, and you were able to have like much larger levels. So like Yoshi's Island, which is like one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah,
like you'd be on the map and you could go in every which way direction, and there'd be stuff there.
Yeah, there was no limits. Definitely Yoshi's Island was like, it was definitely super revolutionary, because every other game prior to that, like if you go to like old school like Mario and stuff, like you have to move to the right. If you can't go back to the left. If the screen overtakes something, you can't go back and get it. If a fucking power star flies out of a block and it flies off to the left side of the screen, it's gone. You're not going after it. But in Yoshi's Island, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna complain about the fucking left side of the screen.
But
that's like the very first level of Super Mario Bros. Where you can either go down the pipe or get that secret one-up. Every once in a while, you can just fandangle yourself on top of the one-up box and still be able to go down the pipe because the screen hasn't scrolled all the way.
Yeah, but it's really tricky.
Yeah.
But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, but Yoshi's Island in my head is also one of the first like collectathon type games, because you had the sunflowers, you had the red coins, and you also have the little smiling flowers that are reminiscent of what do they represent? Baby Mario's health, I believe.
I thought those were the star things. You collect the star things and it counts up to.
It might have been the
20
stars
or whatever.
I might be getting mixed up. Yeah. But
I'm pretty sure there's like 5 flowers in each level or something.
Yeah, there's 5 sunflowers and there's 10 red coins, I believe. And so for Yoshi's Island to be able to do that style right, you have to have full reign. If you go all the way to the right side of the screen, you still have the bottom, top, and the rest of the left side that you can go and explore, and you get around everywhere.
Like, could you imagine Super Mario Bros. Where it's a collectathon?
Oh.
I mean, the first level, all you do is just break all the bricks. I mean, there's no real exploring to do.
Yeah, no.
That would suck. You need that, you need that Y-axis.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I kind of wonder how many people know that Yoshi's Island is actually Super Mario World 2.
Probably not very many.
I don't know, it's just a weird thing. because no one refers to it as Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. They just say Yoshi's Island.
Well, it's the same as how Rainbow Island is a sequel to Bubble Bobble. Like, nobody fucking knows that.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing. But it's one of those It's one of those things where it's like if you think about it, it is semi common knowledge. I mean, technically Yoshi's Island is a prequel to Super Mario World because Baby Mario, but minor details.
Kind of.
But
tell me, what's your favorite 2D platformer?
that's tough. I haven't played like a shit ton of them. Like, I'm really enjoying Dust right now, but it's very much more of a it is more of a beat 'em up as opposed to a platformer. Like, there aren't any like super tricky jumps and stuff like that, so I definitely think of it less as a platformer as much as it is a side-scrolling RPG.
Yeah,
But,
I think it would technically, it's such a long fucking genre, but
Mhm.
2D platformer role-playing game. And I don't know if you do dungeon crawling, but you could stick that between platformer and RPG.
Yeah, no dungeon crawling really. It's all kind of like, I mean, you could potentially go to like a cavernous area or a dungeon at some point, but it's like, you're not gonna, it's not so much dungeon crawling. But yeah, definitely like 2D side-scrolling platformer RPG. Like, it's a mouthful. But yeah, I can't really think of one. Would Castlevania Symphony of the Night count? No.
Yeah, I mean, if Dust counts, I mean, it kind of created its own genre, Metroidvania, but
That's true.
it's still platforming,
If
just
we're
with a lot of RPG elements.
Yeah, if we're counting Super Metroid as a 2D platformer, then we're counting Castlevania Symphony of the Night as a platformer. Because,
Yeah. It's platforming gameplay,
Yeah.
regardless of what the long-ass genre title it'll have.
Yeah, because, like, I quote-unquote 102%ed the Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Granted, like, completion in that game doesn't run off of, like, at least for the number it gives you, is literally just how much of the map you've discovered.
Yeah.
So, to get
So where's
100
that extra 2% coming?
It comes from a couple of secret rooms. Like, there's literally zero indication that they're there. Like, if you don't know they're there or you don't stumble upon them accidentally, they're like, you're not finding them.
So are they kind of like treasure rooms, or are they actually
Yes.
like Easter eggs?
No, they're treasure rooms, and you could say Easter eggs, for example. Like, one of them is super tricky to find. Like, you go into this clock tower area with Medusa heads, and there are these gears. There are a few gears throughout the tower, and if you hit them with your weapon, they'll click. Like, they'll spin gradually, like one tooth at a time. So it's like, to unlock this fucking room that, again, zero indication it's there, you literally have to, like, hit the top one a few times, then hit the middle one a certain amount of times, then hit the bottom one a certain amount of times, then go back up to the top one, hit it a couple, hit the middle one a couple, and then hit the top one again a couple of times, and then this fucking room will pop out of nowhere. And it's like, here, have some dope-ass armor.
So I wonder, because like it's super secretive and all, but if it was never intended to be accessed, I mean, why would they make it 102%? Why wouldn't it be like, if you haven't found these two rooms, you're at 98%? Because they're very much still a part of the game, regardless of how hard it is to find them.
I agree. Like, it doesn't make sense at all. It really doesn't. And I thought the same thing.
If you were a true completionist and you're playing this game and you're at 98%, you're like, oh shit, I gotta go do something. But if you hit 100%, like, granted, back in the day, they didn't necessarily have much for internet, really. Like, maybe you had a few forums, but like, it wasn't widely known or easily known. It wasn't easy to find out that there's 102%. So if you hit 100%, you can just assume you were done, even if you didn't actually finish everything.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never been able to find like an actual explanation for it, but like, I mean, it's such a good fucking game. I don't care.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, for me, that's definitely my favorite 2D platformer of all time. It's super solid. Like I said, there are certain bosses where you need to go and farm out a certain item, or you need to get a certain kind of resistance. There is a type of armor in that game called spike armor. And it isn't just like really cool armor or anything. Like, you need it to get past spikes. Like if you wear it, you break spikes. So there's like these
Nifty.
there's like a few hallways in the games where they're just filled with spikes. You can't fly through it as a bat. You never have enough mana to mist form your way past it, so you have to find the spike armor. You have to wear the spike armor to actually get past the damn things.
You know, that kind of plays off of some other RPG things, even as far back as Dragon Warrior, where you had like the poison swamp type stuff.
Yeah.
You needed to either be ridiculously powerful or have a special armor to get through it.
Yep.
You know, I haven't played Castlevania or Symphony of the Night.
It's so good, dude. It's definitely a bit of a time sink. I think when I beat it, I think I put about 40 hours into it, and I did use a guide, admittedly. I was like, I'm not about to try and fuck around with this game. Like, I was like, I knew it had 2 castles. I didn't want to try and fuck around and figure out how to access the second castle.
So,
But, like, on my own or whatever, so.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about the time. It's just the PS1 version.
Mm-hmm.
Like in our game stores here in Canada, like the ones in our area, it's like $120. I have a hard enough time justifying like $80 for a new like Wii U game or whatever. I'm not paying $120 for that. But on the upside, I think I actually found the guide. That may be one of the ones I own. Probably for like $1.
That'd be really fucking cool.
There's an Xbox 360 collection from Konami, which includes Castlevania of the Night, Symphony of the Night. So I technically have it.
Nice.
So maybe I'll play it.
I would. I actually played it. I actually played it on the PSP.
Right, you had the collection.
I literally, it came out with, oh god, I can't remember for the life of me what the literal name is, but it's...
Dissidia?
No, it's not that's Final Fantasy.
Oh shit.
But it's like Castlevania, like Rondo of Blood, or it might be Dracula X. I think it might have been named after the old We Might Get It that we had Nintendo Power, like the Coming Soons or whatever.
Yeah.
But pretty much what it is it's that game. It's Castlevania Rondo of Blood with Richter Belmont, and then what you have to do to get Symphony of the Night is you have to get far enough in the game, the original game, that you find an item that unlocks Symphony of the Night for you.
Oh, nifty.
So like I bought this game because I was like, holy fucking shit, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which again I learned about from the Angry Video Game Nerd. I'm not some god. So
yeah, we learned a lot of things from the nerd, because that was like our inception into like video games, like
pretty much
collecting and stuff.
All hail the nerd god that he is. But
close enough.
So yeah, I'm at GameStop and I find this game and I'm like, oh cool, Castlevania, right? And it's like I just watched the nerd episode like a month ago or whatever, so I was like on the hype train, and then I flip it over and it says that it comes with Symphony of the Night, and I'm like, holy shit, yes. So
down.
Immediately drop my birthday money on it and shit and buy the game, and then I get home and I put it in and I'm like, where's Symphony of the Night? I'm like, where is it, man?
Unlock that shit.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know. I got mad at first. I was like, this is bullshit. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, okay, it's only in the first stage of level 2 or whatever. I was like, that shouldn't be too hard. It took me about 35 minutes maybe to get to it. And then, yeah, so I got that and played through Symphony of the Night, and I never touched the other Castlevania games since.
You know, I think Contra 4 was kind of the same way on the DS. I think you actually have to beat the game before you get the original Contra or Super Contra or whatever it was.
Oh, probably.
Super C.
But I mean, Contra 4, you can save.
Yeah. You know, it looked beautiful. Mm-hmm. Contra's it's technically a platformer, even though it's also a shooter.
Yeah, it counts. Up, phone. There are times where you gotta like scale up mountains and shit with like 400 things coming at you all at once. It counts.
Yeah. The thing with Contra 4 was though, they used both screens, so you could be slipping down a zip line on the top screen, but there's stuff shooting at you from the bottom screen, and it becomes super disorienting to look between the two. Like, just to connect the dots between, like, where their projectile's going to end.
Yeah.
I had a hard time playing that game. Yeah, still a lot of fun, but, like, I had to stop.
We beat the original Contra We did. We didn't.
Hell yeah.
We didn't cheat at all.
Oh, definitely not.
The fuck's a Konami code? Up, down, left, right, BA, start. What?
That was literally the first thing we did. We're like, it needs to work. We need to try this.
And then it worked, and we were like, fuck it, might as well beat the game now.
Yeah. We still had troubles. Like, we ran out of lives.
Yeah, I think we had to continue a couple of times.
Granted, that's kind of the new school way. You know, go back to a save point, cheat for lives, grind for lives, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fucking, if we really wanted to, we could have sat there and learned the levels and played through on limited lives, like people always did. But we just wanted to experience the game.
Yeah, because I think I'd come over and we were doing something, but like we only had I think like an hour and a half or 2 hours to hang out or something. So we were like, shit, what can we do? We were like, fuck it, let's do Contra. Let's try the Konami code, right? And then ended up beating the game in a little over an hour.
You know what's kind of weird is I thoroughly enjoy the NES version way more than the arcade version.
I didn't even know there was an arcade version. Fuck me.
Well, yeah, because it came out in arcade first.
Right.
See, the thing with the arcade version, though, is it's a lot more detailed, but it feels too zoomed in because the characters look much bigger, and then all the environments are just way more gray. It's almost how I feel about like first-person shooters nowadays, where everything is like brown and gray. There's no fucking color.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, that's a generalization, but like that's how I felt about the Contra arcade game. So I like the NES version way more.
Oh, the NES version's so satisfying. Spreader gun.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, you always got the spreader gun. I wasn't that good.
No, I half the time it was lucky. Like, you'd shoot the thing out of the sky, and then I'd end up jumping into it, and I'm just like, well, fuck.
Or I'd get it, and it would, like, drop off the side of the map, and you'd get the next one, and it'd be spreader.
Yeah, it's like, well, already then.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say about platformers and how amazing they are?
No, not really. I think I've about covered all of the amazingness that is 2D platformers and how wonderful they are and how everybody should go and play them whenever they possibly can.
Yeah, I think if you're listening, be sure to like tweet at us, comment on our Facebook or YouTube video, wherever you want. Just tell us what your favorite 2D platformer is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I have a fucking wall of platformers that I did not mention.
Oh, me too. Well, no, not me too, but, you know.
Yeah, you've got a game library that you've played. We have
right?
the knowledge.
Indeed.
I think two things I want to mention before we end this is, if you have a Wii, it's kind of a hidden gem. It's called Lost in Shadows. It's a very pure platformer. There's no running and gunning. There's no special suits. There's no RPG elements or anything. It's just platforming. And its whole draw is that your shadow, you can use your shadow to platform. So if you're in a section where it's all lighted, actually you lost your body. You're the shadow trying to find your body, but you can use the light to your advantage. So if you can move a light source with a switch or something, it'll change the way the shadows are shown, and it'll give you new platforms. It's just
That's
another
awesome.
dynamic that makes it really fun. And it's crazy cheap. So like if your GameStop or EB Games still stocks these, Canadian, it's like $8. American, that's like $5.
Yeah.
Go get it. And I think the other thing about platformers is because they were so huge way back when, you know, video games were first kind of hitting. Like Pitfall was the first real platformer on the Atari 2600, but once we got the NES, people just ran with the platformer genre and like mascot platformers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of died down as soon as we got 3D games.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were still platformers, but there's not nearly as many. It's really nice to see in like this day and age that indie developers have picked up the slack of AAA developers, and things like Dust even. Like, they're still making platformers. Fez, you know, Braid.
Ori and the Blind Forest is another one.
Yeah, like, there's just tons and tons of them on, like, Steam now. or in like the eShop or the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, they're not hard to find if you look for them.
Yeah. It's just really nice because even then they use like the aesthetic of older games too, or lower polygon counts. So they just kind of fit right in with all of our favorite games. So like Shovel Knight is fucking amazing, and it's like side by side with like DuckTales.
Woo!
I never watched that show in my life.
Me either. But the game is wonderful.
Yes, it is.
But the one thing I wanted to say is definitely if you're listening, like comment, send us a tweet, hit us up on Facebook, because what I think would be really fun is I would love to do a podcast video where we don't do any of the segments or anything really, and we just talk about, like, let's say we get a comment and somebody's like, oh, I really loved the Golden Sun games on GBA, or, you know, I really liked this, or this was a really cool example of one of the mechanics you guys talked about. I'd literally love to do an episode where we just talk about the stuff that you guys mention.
Oh, just definitely.
Give our opinions on it. Like, that would be so much fun to do, because it's like when we do these videos, like we're ever so slightly on the spot. Like it happens almost every time, is it's like we're trying to get our schedules to line up so we can record the podcast, and we're like, hey, shit, what do we talk about? So I definitely want to do a video like that where we literally are just like, oh, like, you know,
so and so on YouTube said this, and they're awesome.
You my new best friend. Now let's talk about why your game is shit. No, but no, I'd definitely love to do a video like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So definitely, if you're listening to this, if you've been listening this far, you know what? I'll bring it up at the beginning of the next episode just in case you haven't listened this far. But send us a comment about your favorite game, or a game which, like, your favorite 2D platformer, or something that we talked about in Mechanics Workshop, or a hidden gem of your own opinion or whatever. Like, we definitely want to hear from you guys.
Yep. So I think that's a good way to wrap up this episode. I'm Jukeboxhero.
I reckon. I'm KelryxsKing.
And this is the Infinity Games Podcast. Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So if you've listened this far, chances are that you should probably subscribe to us.
Yeah, do
that.
that.
Obviously you enjoyed it enough to listen to the end. So we're on YouTube, we're on iTunes, we're on the Google Play Music Store. You can find us just about anywhere. And if you leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, we'll be sure to read it off in the episode. The next episode.